Get on board, get on track, get to where you're going. And now, your EduTrainer, National Insurance columnist, Steve Savant.
Well, welcome everyone. I'm Steve Savant, your EduTrainer and coach for our EduTrainment workshops. And it's our entry-level introduction into life insurance. And all this week we're doing introduction into term life insurance. And I know that I've been getting really good email and reaction on this because people want to know about this stuff. And we've done not only, I think, a quality job, we're explaining the grids and spreadsheets in the way it really works in the real world. And before we get going, because we're going to be on this system, if you're not downloaded the Lincoln Benefit Eclipse illustration software. Why do we use this software? Because we voted it as the #1 user-friendly software, not only for regular quoting and a daily practice of an advisor, but we think it's excellent as an education tool. So go out to this site, www.lblsales.com/ETW. Just come to the page, you'll see it, push Run Installer, and just download it, and then you can watch me page by page. You can go with me. We found out the learning curve is better if you download the software and track with me as I'm doing it. So we're going to be using this for the rest of our time, another 4 to 5 weeks here. So you'll definitely want to get this. Again, www.lblsales.com/ETW. By the way, another little feature that we have with Lincoln Benefit is they've given us what I think is really, if you're saying, man, I'm just coming into this business, how can I really get my feet wet? Well, they have prospecting letters and postcards that you can have. Just go out to their site, and it's listed right below the site number because it's kind of long. And of course, we'll print that out for you on our SEOs when you go and look at the videos, our search engine optimization description words. That whole the URL for this, and you'll be able to order your postcards and prospects, and you can look at the Adobe before you order them and see if that's something you'd like to do. And of course, they have good fact finders as well as the Facts of Your Life booklet, which I recommend. You can get it either in the e-version or you can order the book itself. It's an excellent tool. And for a lot of you, I'm getting email lately that says, hey Steve, I've heard about you on other sites, but this site doesn't actually play your video. I want to get caught up on all the archives and the complete courses. Well, if you just go to our site, www.brokersalliance.com, you can go to our site, hit the red on-demand videos. It has all our videos, not only on our education, our EduTrainment workshops, but the Business Insurance Zone, our daily internet talk show, and as well as my weekend show called Welcome to the Weekend with Steve Savant. So if you want to go out there, just www.brokersalliance.com. And for some of you who have been still ordering, and it's great, if you want the life insurance manual with the patented vocabulary that goes with it, just say, order it, say, Steve, I need that. I'll send it to you. Just write me at thebiz@brokersalliance.com. That's thebiz@brokersalliance.com. Thebiz, THEBIZ, @brokersalliance.com. We'll send you the life insurance manual. Now I want to get over to our software today that we're going to be using. And again, we're on the Lincoln Benefit Eclipse software proposal system. And I'm on their page 1 entry system where I'm selecting a gender and my classification. Again, if you remember or recall, we have preferred elite, preferred, standard, select, which in their terminology is standard plus. I can do standard, preferred smoker, and smoker. I have all those selections. But today I kind of want to, since we talked about this Tuesday, I kind of want to go forward and talk a little bit about a couple things that I think are pretty cool in their software that I think are really good training tools. And I've chosen my annual, my 200,000 face, if you remember. And then I'm going to go ahead to, let's see. Actually, you know what I think I'm going to do here? I think I want to look at the file, choose a new one, walk you through it. We're going to select Lincoln Benefit Life. We're going to select Arizona. Well, actually, I just did Alaska, but it's too cold up there for me. And we're going to go to New Sales. And I want to come over to this section right here. Well, let's choose Term and Detailed Product Information. Now, what I like about this is everything that I need to know about their specific product is all listed here. Key features, the term insurance to 95, the premium rates guaranteed 10, 15, 20, 30 with a footnote, optional riders available to customize. I want to be able to do the option. What can I do to convert? And then it tells me a few marketing issues. What is the target market for term for this product? Customers looking for low-cost term insurance with fully guaranteed level premiums, individuals seeking a high level of insurance for a fixed period of time, individuals seeking flexible and options in a life insurance product. It tells me everything I need to know, their minimum face, their maximum face. And here's one thing I want to touch on. And again, if you've been with us now for these teaching episodes, these workshops, this is somewhat becomes important. They have rate bands. So let's say if you were to, we're doing a 200,000. Well, we're past the first rate band now, but the second band stops. Actually, the first two bands, we're actually now in the band 3. The higher up, there's some bands, there's some discounts here for more. It's kind of like volume purchasing, for lack of a better way of explaining it. And sometimes certain carriers have their bands, their price bands at 5 million. Sometimes it's 5 million, 3 million, depending upon where it is. That's their best price. So sometimes it's better for a little bit more coverage. You're actually getting the better cost of insurance bang for the buck. So you want to definitely look at that. And then I also want to look at your issue ages and also how far up they'll do on issue ages based on male, female, smoker, non-smoker, preferred smoker, non-smoker. And I also want to look at certain states. Like this state just happens to be here, Washington, has specific filing issues. Again, you want to make sure you look at all that. It lists all their classifications on underwriting, and it also lists all their modal factors, their premium modal factors, and they also show their policy fees on band 1 and 2. Notice, interestingly enough, that their band 4, 5, and 6 at $500,000 or more, actually you start getting a discount on their policy fee. It's not a lot, but hey, it's a discount. And then they list their free looks, their grace periods, their lapse period, a little bit of line on that, and their conversion provisions for every contract. It lists their riders, and again, I'm going to attend to that later, but that's just something I just wanted to point out to you, that when you're on their software, I like those little digest kind of cliff note versions. I don't want to have to look through the policy sample. Believe you me, if you've never seen it before, it's like a complete legal contract, which it is. But I want to do something that's short and easy. Another thing I want to do is my product. Where is it approved? And in this case, I can look through my entire list, and there might be 1 or 2 states that are anomalies. Right now I'm looking down at everything that we're doing. Okay, New York. New York has its own set of rates as they do for almost every product. So there's an anomaly where this product, I couldn't sell it in New York and I couldn't sell it in Puerto Rico. So those are 2 locations where I'm look at the listing and I say, okay, I'm golden, I'm in every other state, so I can do it. The next thing I want to do is I want to do view product comparison information. Now this is a little jump into what we're going to be talking about, but I want to be able to say to you, hey, is this really something that you should look at? And there it is. Okay. What's it going to do is this is a 20-page report. See if I can get to my page I want here. And it's going to compare all the products that they sell to each other. And you may say, you know, Steve, you were talking about GUL inside the term grids the last week. Well, you may select and say, gee, I think I'm going to look at that. True term and their legacy secure. Oh, I have monies coming in. I might be looking at their legacy choice. Oh, I have a second to die, and I'm thinking about doing my term until I get to that and then convert it over if they allow it. You can look at all these things here, all their product lines, all in a snapshot, and this whole area compares that to each other. So when you're looking at this, you may say, I want to be able to look at this and see, is that worth looking at? Is that something that I want to do? So when you're looking at our software, that's just another area, view the product comparison. I'm going to cancel that for a second. Now I want to show you something that's really interesting. I'm now on their report options page. Notice the tabs. 1, 2, 3, 4. You should be, if you're tracking with me, you should be on report options page. I want to see all years in detail. You don't have to. You could do a 10, 20-year report reward. But I like to use large font because of my age. You know, I need the glasses. And I want to see this. This is really great. They've put inside this, if you're buying term, they put inside a basic concept showing term and perm and comparing it to renting and or owning a house. And also, I like what's called the next steps. So I'm going to generate an illustration, the one we've been using all this week to keep with our continuity. And I want to be able to go down a few pages here. Let's see if I can find it real fast here. There it is. And look at this page. This is a really great piece, and it's integrated. It's an optional integration, but I say put it in. I'm going to show term life insurance is like renting. The policy, it walks you through this basic idea, the benefits of term insurance, and it's just like a home that you're renting. You don't really own it, you're just using it for that time. Now the reason I like this is because permanent insurance is like buying a home. So the comparison between the two is a very easy basic piece for a client to assess. So let's just go through it just really quickly, because even if you didn't use Lincoln Benefit Life itself, this is a great piece to get in front of your client and talk about it. The policy you've chosen is term, because that's what we're quoting. He says, but think of it like renting or leasing a car. You choose the length of the time and the amount of coverage, and your payments stay the same until the end of the term. When the term ends, you have the option to renew the policy, but your premiums will be slightly higher. That's that ART charge. Slightly at the beginning, then a lot more towards the end. The benefits of having term insurance: your premiums guaranteed for the same period of time that you set. You can purchase the same death benefit at the price that is generally lower than the permanent. And you can continue your term coverage at the end of the initial period, but premiums are going to be going up. Now, a second way to buy life insurance is permanent insurance. Remember, I'm only bringing this to the client. We already sold the term, we're selling the term, but I want to just give them a kind of another option. And I explain that buying permanent insurance is like purchasing a home. Instead of renting a home, I'm going to purchase a home. So I take the second type of insurance, the benefits of permanent. When you make required payments, a permanent policy can last you for your life. Your policy can build up cash values that you can use to make a loan, to make withdrawals, or even skip a payment. Keep in mind that taking a loan or withdrawal will have an impact on the death benefit. So what you want to do is you want to look at the comparison. Renting your life insurance with the option to buy, or maintaining your life insurance. Those are kind of the ideas behind basic thinking on, should I rent this? Should I own it? I like this kind of idea because it kind of does what I would call a really nice sales idea, so that you can understand should I do this with, is term really what I'm looking for? And in my explanation at the beginning of the week, term is temporary expense reimbursement. As long as I have a temporary liability, I'm willing to look at term. But if my liability is longer than term, or it's just going to be for the rest of my life, and heads up, just remember, a little side note, that we still sell, most of the largest premiums we sell are in the geriatric demographic of age 60 and higher, because people have, at least at the minimum, final expenses, which will never go away, and those are always permanent. You should always have some form of permanent just for that issue alone. Why start buying this at 60, 65 when you could have bought it and be done with it as a young person? Now, another thing too is I like this. This is a basic understanding. What's your next steps? You've decided to buy term. You know what you're getting now. You've made your selection. What's the first person? Well, we're going to have to apply for insurance. And when we apply for insurance, we're going to have to go through an application. And the application is going to not only talk about data in your information, but it's also going to ask Part 2 information about your medical. And you're going to be completing an underwriting process. Very much so, that may be what? Include a paramed, an EKG, and if the numbers or the face amount is really large, you may have other requirements. They're going to call for all your attending physician statements. All of this is in here so that your client knows what to expect. This is what's coming. Why should you write it in a brief or a blog when you have it right here? Reviewing your policy. Once your policy is approved and issued, your agent will deliver it to you, and you receive your policy within 4 to 8 weeks of completing the application, and you have 31-day free look. And some states there might be a little bit more, but traditional one. And then you can reassess your coverage and reassess it not only now that you're doing it, but later on. Those big 4 steps tell the client what's happening so that they're not surprised.
This has been an Edutrainment Workshop, the educational division of the National Insurance Clearinghouse, the marketing arm of Brokers Alliance, and sponsored by Lincoln Benefit Life, an Allstate company.